Hello and welcome. It's Derek Tafuma here of DerekTafuma.com. Uh, Ask Derek Tafuma. Hashtag Ask Derek Tafuma. Today I want to address an issue which has been a topical issue today on social media. Whether the article which was posted, and it's from one of those sites which I don't read from because I accuse them of clickbaiting, which means that they will put headlines or they will find stories which are not very true. Okay, I've noticed that some of the stories are not authentic, so I no longer read from them. But they carried a story in which they talked about, or they announced that the Minister of Education of Zimbabwe, LDK Dokora, had made an announcement that we should, or had included in the curriculum, that we should teach maths and science in vernacular languages, including Shona, Ndebele, Xhosa, and other languages that we speak in Zimbabwe. Now, I think if the story turns out to be true, which I'm not sure, I don't know, with the advent of fake news and all that, alternative facts, I'm not so sure that this is a true story. But it still generated debate anyway. People still debated, they still tried to come up with vernacular words for things like gravity, atoms, and stuff like that. And they also argue that some countries had actually developed their own they developed their own, or they were teaching science and maths in their own language, and so they were doing very well. All fine and good, but my take on this is that Zimbabwe, for example, is at a stage where we cannot really be trying to implement new things when we should really be concentrating on making sure that the conceptual understanding of this math and science is going across with the resources that we have. Because to be honest, who is going to come up with this alternative textbook or curriculum with vernacular names in it and all that? Okay, I'm not saying it can't be done. It can, and people can put their heads together and come up with it. But I think it's a long-term solution. It's not something that is immediate. But we know that with this government, anything they want to implement, should they want to do it immediately. Okay, like the chaotic land reform program. It was something that they think about today, and tomorrow they're implementing without thinking about the consequences for that. So cost is a biggie. It's a big issue already. It's going to be very expensive to implement. It's going to be expensive to come up with an alternative, or to come up with vernacular textbooks in vernacular. That's going to be a big challenge, but there might be people willing to take on the challenge. So it's up to them. But I think it's the last thing that we want to worry about. I think we should focus on research and development. That is, we should be putting money into research and development. We should be supporting research and development. We should support people that are willing to write papers, research papers that try to convince the public, okay, that this sort of thing is something which is doable. They can do case studies of places where it's been done, instead of some minister just coming up with some idea from nowhere and then imposing it on the education system of the country. So we are trying to avoid such dictatorial tendencies. Okay, so let's focus on research and development. We know that countries like the United States of America, Britain, they pour a lot of money into research and development. They support people that want to do research and development. In fact, there is a research paper race between America, China to see who is producing the highest number of research papers on various topics. Okay, I mean, we have people with PhDs and master's degrees, but really, those people should be supported to come up with or to do research into different areas or specialty. I mean, if they did that, then it would inform public debate on various issues, including this one. America, for example, and I always talk about this, the iPhone by Steve Jobs, I like to call it, it's a technological Frankenstein, meaning that the technologies in the iPhone when it was released some 10 years ago, that technology was already available. Okay, it's technologies which were available, and some of them or most of them were developed by DARPA, which is a government agency for research and development, which is the same agency that came up with ARPANET, which became the internet. Okay, which initially was just a communication tool for universities, but eventually it was rolled out as the internet that we know today. Okay, so if we do focus on research and development, like the Americans have done, they have supported or they have developed technologies as a government, okay, which have been used by corporations as innovations, not as something new that they have invented. Okay, although you could argue that it's an invention. The first iPhone, you can argue it's an invention, but it's also just a putting together, okay, an innovation of existing technologies. For example, I used to carry around a satellite navigation gadget, a TomTom. I also used to carry around a Cybershot Sony camera. I used to carry around a watch. I used to carry around a video camera. That's another Sony product, a video camera. And I used to carry around something that we used to call, it was an HP, it was like a tablet, okay? It had a stylus, you could, it was like an organizer. I think it was something like a digital organizer. Okay, and that's not a long time ago. That's about 10, just over 10 years ago, maybe 11, 12 years ago, I used to do that. But as soon as the iPhone was introduced, okay, I practically got rid of all of those things because they were now all included in the innovation that was the iPhone. Okay, so my point is that if we focus on research and development and we support researchers and we support people that are going to write papers, okay, or books or make videos or documentaries, we can benefit from that research. Okay, so allow scholars to come up with research papers which may support a plan like the one that is talking about of trying to teach maths and science in vernacular languages. Can we Shonalize maths? Can we individualize it? Can we causalize it? Can we do that? Can we do that with science? Can we find alternative words for those concepts? Do students learn better because they are using their mother tongue? Okay, I got a degree in physics, okay, after learning Spanish for less than 3 months and being taught in Spanish by Spanish speaking teachers who could not speak a word of English. Okay, and we managed to get degrees in physics, maths, chemistry, biology, geography. Okay, there were 5 different subjects we were doing, and we managed to do that. So I don't see what the and besides, we did this in our late teens or early 20s, and these kids were just 6 or 7 years old. They can learn languages faster than we do, okay? And we're saying, oh, these kids cannot learn maths in English. Let's teach them in Shona, okay? I mean, it's give me the research, show me the evidence that it's actually better for the country and for the GDP, for the economy of the country. Is that a better use of resources? Show me the evidence, and I'll say go ahead and do it. Okay? Instead, we should be encouraging consultation and debate on various topics and allow people to come up, not be afraid to express themselves, like is the case now. So, should we use vernacular to teach math and science? Perhaps, but show me the evidence. Show me that it's better than anything we are doing at the moment. Okay, so that's my little rant today, and I always like to not just rant but make sure that there's a little bit of background behind the rant and not just an aimless rant. So thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Name is Derek Tafuma of DerekTafuma.com. This is the Ask Derek Tafuma show.